episode 3 of Game News and Things. I'm the one BG, along with my partner Platinum. We got a lot of news to cover, so let's get this started with what we've been playing. What you been playing, Platinum?
Well, I've been playing Battlefield 1. I've just finished up recording all of my Tomb Raider Let's Play, and I am playing Batman Arkham Asylum. Like I said last week, I was going to dive into that game. How about you? What have you been playing?
I played a little bit more Battlefield 1, a little bit of Overwatch, and mostly Civ 6.
What do you think of Civ 6?
Besides the fact that it's a total upgrade from Civ 5, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah?
I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's good.
Thoughts on Batman?
Batman is Batman. It's basically the good way of saying it. Is Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City put together? Haven't dove into Arkham City, so maybe it's different there. But it's basically the same thing. It's just a remaster. It's basically what it is. The only thing though is it does have some frame rate issues, which I have absolutely no need to be using right now. I don't understand why it has this right now. This game came out, I believe, 7 years ago.
Yep.
Right now, it should be running flawlessly. There's times where I'm running just normally down a hall and there's frame rate issues.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's not like it's a game breaking, like I'm not gonna play it again. But it's very easy to notice.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people are like, oh, the frame rate drops and it's like from 30 to 29.
Right.
This one goes from, I think starts off 30 frames. It goes to an easy 15. So it's pretty easy to see.
Right.
But otherwise, the Arkham games are my top 5, if not top 10 favorite games of all time. So
okay.
I just enjoy playing them, coming back to them that I haven't played in a while.
Do you get all of the DLC? Does this even have DLC with it?
Yep, so Batman Arkham Asylum didn't have much. The big thing is you get to do like challenge rooms as the Joker, but
okay.
But then Arkham City did get a good story one with Harley Quinn's Revenge, and then just mostly challenge rooms, and you get to play you get the Catwoman, I guess, DLC. I never knew it was DLC. Because I remember when I first got the game, I didn't get like a Game of the Year edition or anything, but I instantly had the Catwoman thing. So, people say it's the Catwoman DLC where you get to play as Catwoman, but I didn't even know it was DLC.
I think that was a pre-order bonus essentially, but it came out with like the main game because that's just how those pre-order things work.
Yeah.
Because I think I got that as well, and I didn't pre-order that one.
I definitely did not pre-order it, but people call it the DLC, but I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And then Arkham City just has a lot of challenge maps where you get to play as Robin, Catwoman, Batman. I think that's it. I believe Arkham Knight you get to play as just everyone.
Gotcha. What are your thoughts on Battlefield 1? I've only played 3.5-ish hours of it, so I haven't put a lot of time. What are your thoughts?
I've easily put in, probably since I was able to play it on, I think, last Fridays when EA Access started, I've easily put in, 10, 15 hours into the game. I've only done multiplayer, haven't gotten into single player yet. I know I should, because from what I've heard, it's pretty decent. But I love this game. I haven't played Overwatch in a solid 7 days now. I've just been playing Battlefield 1. It's a nice game to have because the games aren't short like they are in like COD, or I don't know how it is, but Titanfall, I don't know how long those games are. But when I played the beta of Titanfall 2, they were pretty quick. But these games go on for a solid 20, 30 minutes. So it's nice where you can literally spawn in and you can actually play for a solid good amount of time before you hit another loading screen.
Yeah.
Even
more uptime, more playtime.
Yeah. Even if you're playing like mid game, if you just jump in mid game, it's still nice because you still have a solid 10, 15 minutes to play the match.
Yeah. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
So, thumbs up for Battlefield 1?
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
for me, the only thing that I have a little nitpick on it is when I'm like loading into a new round or a new game, I've literally mashed every single button on my Xbox controller, and I cannot figure out a way to get out of this loading screen.
Oh, so sometimes it just like freezes on you?
No, it's like it's loading it's just running the game. It's just there's no way of getting out of this long loading screen into the new game.
Oh, okay.
Like
Gotcha.
You can look at your previous round and how you did, and then you can look at like, oh, did you get a battle pack? You can look at your medal that you're working on, but there's no way of getting out and back into the main menu.
Oh, okay.
So
I see what you're saying.
It's just kind of hard when like you're looking at your stats on how you did throughout the game, and next thing you know, all right, now we're loading into the next game, but I need to leave. You can't get out.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know if it's the same on PC or anything, but that's one thing I've had a trouble with Battlefield 1. I've probably entered in some secret code or that I've tried figuring out some way of getting out. I've tried like multiple bumpers and a button. I've tried basically everything.
Okay. So, let's dive into the news. So, first piece of news we got is about Overwatch and Sombra and how it kind of stinks.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so
how do you feel about this whole ARG thing of Sombra?
I think it's just went on too long, and there's been no payout for it. Like,
yep.
Especially like this last one, it made us wait. I think it was like 2 weeks that this thing has been loading up to hit 100%, and then we all of a sudden get this thing that says that Bastion has been compromised, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Which is like, what else are we supposed to do with this? And it's just kind of, it was anticlimactic, and no one was really happy about it, and I don't know. I just want information.
Yeah, you want something on her, not just her playing games with us.
Right. So hopefully when BlizzCon rolls around, we get some actual information. Hopefully that's the release time for her.
Or, yeah, just something about her would be nice.
Yeah, agreed. Along the lines of hacking, we have Watch Dogs 2 being delayed by 2 weeks on PC. Which, for the reasons that they're giving us, I am completely fine with.
Yeah.
They're trying to get controllers figured out, and they're trying to get graphics figured out. So if PC people want to be all nitpicky about graphics, we have to be okay with the fact that it may take longer than our console brothers.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you excited at all for Watch Dogs 3 or Watch Dogs 2?
Actually, surprisingly, I kind of am.
Interesting. I didn't picture you as this on the Watch Dogs kind of guy.
I don't like. At first, when it came out, I was like, whatever. It doesn't like pique any of my interest. But like the past like week or so, I've just kind of been like, you know what? Like, it looks actually kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it piques my interest. Whether I get it or not is a different thing,
Gotcha.
but I'm definitely interested in it as a whole.
Yeah, it's something maybe down the line you'll actually get.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe I wait for it to hit like $40 or
go on a
something.
Steam sale or something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What about you? Are you interested in this game at all?
I mean, yeah, I am. But, I mean, for me, Watch Dogs 1 obviously was not a very good with the critics. I
Right.
mean, they did a lot of, made you think you can do a lot of things, but you actually can't. But when I played Watch Dogs 1, I don't know, I had an absolute blast playing it. I was probably one of the only people that actually stood up for that game.
Right.
I mean, I know there's some of us out, more than just me, that actually enjoyed the game, because obviously if no one played the game after, or they played a little bit, then they wouldn't make a sequel.
Right.
But, I mean, I honestly feel it's going to get the Assassin's Creed treatment, which for some people, if you don't know, is we call, when Assassin's Creed 1 came out, it was a little bit rough. It wasn't good, or it wasn't great. But then Assassin's Creed 2 came out and just blew everything out of the water. And it actually got Assassin's Creed right. And I feel that's what's going to happen with Watch Dogs 2.
Agreed. So, this past week, we had the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo come out. And within a day, I believe, possibly within a night, it got data mined, and the full Pokedex was leaked.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was bound to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what else they really expected
I mean, when you,
from...
especially when you put out a demo,
Right.
you,
Like, you have to expect people are going to want to know what all the Pokemon are and figure out a way, and you would think that, like, in the demo, like, I would figure that all the Pokemon would be visible.
yeah, like, or at least it's somewhat in the background. I mean,
Right.
sure, they're not going to give you free roam of the whole Aloha system or region, but I mean, it's not going to just hide it all. It's going to
Yeah.
show most of it.
Right. Even, like, I would have been fine with, like, shadows or something
Mm-hmm.
of the Pokemon,
Just a little
but,
tease or something.
yeah, see the shape of them. Did you look at any of these Pokemon?
No.
Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed in a lot of them. They took a lot of like the original Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
and essentially like spray painted them rainbow colors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, just like
I mean,
if you want the original Pokemon, just put the original Pokemon in there.
but they also need to, if they put in just the normal Pokemon with normal
Right.
pictures and everything, that game is going to get there. It's just going to get destroyed in comments and everything.
Mhm.
Because then it's just like, oh, they're just trying to get a game out because it's nothing new. It's just the same Pokemon and such.
Right.
But when they do an Aloha form, then it's at least a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean, they're changing some of the types of the Pokemon and stuff like
Yep.
that. So at least they're changing something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
sure,
don't know.
obviously, when you make this many generations of a Pokemon game, you're gonna start running out of ideas.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But, I mean, have you played the demo at all?
No, I didn't.
Are you interested in the demo at all?
I am not. I don't even know if I'm interested in the game, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
I've just been seeing these leaked Pokemon. I'm like, this doesn't need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They just, I don't know. They looked half baked, and
I mean, for me, it looks a little interesting because they're not doing the gym system that they've known and loved for the
Right.
past, what, 7 generations now.
Yeah.
Now they're doing like these island things, which I mean kind of makes sense when it's kind of based off of like
Hawaii.
Hawaii, which is all islands. It makes a little sense that they're not going to try to have you travel to each island and battle 2 gyms, and then it would make it almost, I don't know, too water centric, even though it's going to be hard if it's not water centric.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it'll be interesting to see how you get to these new islands. I mean, are you gonna learn surf right away, or are you just gonna learn how to take a boat and then eventually you learn surf to go back? It's an interesting thing. I do want to get the demo at least and play through it, kind of get a little taste for it. Plus, I mean, you get the cool looking Greninja for playing it. That's based off the Pokemon X and Y, I think.
I think so.
Which is Ash's Greninja. It gets a different color scheme, that's it. But, I mean, it's kind of cool to have. Depends on what level it comes out at with the game, but I don't know. And it looks interesting. Most of my roommates here are going to be getting it, so I might as well get it. I mean, get the roommates bonding a little bit.
Yeah. So we have some bad news. The developer United Front Games has shut down.
Yep.
Which really stinks because they were the developers of Sleeping Dogs, a game that I actually really liked.
I mean, I liked it too. I beat the game on PlayStation 4 when it got re-released, but I got it when it was on sale. But I mean, from what I know you remember me playing it. It was I was pretty addicted to that game for a while. You, on the other hand, already beat it, got the remastered, not so much.
Yep. So there is a possibility still of Sleeping Dogs 2 because Square Enix owns the rights to it.
Yeah.
So it could still possibly come. I know a lot of people, it kind of has like that cult following behind Sleeping Dogs. So hopefully we get a Sleeping Dogs 2, and we wish the best to all of the United Front Games workers.
Yep, most definitely.
PlayStation has announced that there's going to be a new feature called PlayStation Tournaments, which is pretty cool. That there's going to be like a esports scene for the PS4.
Are you excited for it at all?
I think it's good. I won't do anything with it. I might watch some of this stuff.
Cause you're like the pro watcher. I mean, you watch a lot of Overwatch stuff.
Yeah.
I
got
don't.
into a lot of the esports. For some reason, I was watching the League of Legends, the CS:GO stuff. I really enjoy watching pro sports be played, both like physically and like esports wise. So I think this is really cool that consoles are now getting recognition when it comes to esports.
Yeah, because I mean, most esports are all PC.
Yeah.
I mean, minus COD, I know is PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah. So I think this is really cool. It looks like tournaments for Project Cars and Mortal Kombat have been announced, along with NBA 2K17. So hopefully we get some other stuff added to this, and hopefully it just keeps growing the PlayStation 4 esports community.
Yeah, I mean, that's more your scene there than it is mine.
Yeah, I like esports. They're cool. Let's move on to some VR news. The Star Trek Bridge Crew game has been delayed to March 2017.
VR, not my thing right now. From what I've heard,
Yeah,
also, it looks not that good. From what I've been hearing from people.
I think it's if you liked Star Trek, you would enjoy this.
Yeah, I think it's more of a fan thing than
Yep.
anything.
Yep. Not much else to talk about there. Let's talk about some more Sony stuff. PS4 Pro's additional RAM frees up memory for game developers. So I think this is a little extra something that the PS4 needed to set apart the Pro from the Slim.
How so?
The fact that it gets additional RAM, so that like the additional RAM that they're getting is for essentially the process, like the day-to-day processing stuff for it, so like booting up and whatnot. So that way the 8 gigs of RAM that is already in the PS4 can be used solely for running games.
Yeah.
Therefore, it can run games better.
But then I also feel that if it becomes almost too monumental, it could almost lead to, what's the word? More splitting the PlayStation community.
Right.
I mean, if this PlayStation Pro is going to get some extra stuff, what's going to stop some people, minus Sony? I mean, Sony's going to obviously have some firm grasp on this stuff, but it's going to allow more things to be able to be done by the PS4 Pro.
But don't we want that? We want the PS4 Pro to be more powerful than the Slim.
Yeah, but we also don't want to separate them. We want to keep
Right.
everyone who has a PS4. We don't want everyone to feel left out.
Right. I don't think this is gonna leave anyone out. I mean, it's only 1 GB of RAM that they're freeing up, which
Yeah.
is going to allow your PS4 Pro, which it should, run games at a
Faster.
smoother frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't going to allow them to make games only for the Pro. It's just going to allow the games that are made or being run on the Pro to load faster and keep a steady frame rate and possibly hit like a 4K resolution.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it is a good
it's
thing, but it's good that it's not too much.
right. I mean, it's just going to be the Pro is trying to be as powerful as a Scorpio is saying it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna have your Xbox One S and you're gonna have the Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And on Sony's side, you're gonna have the PlayStation 4 and you're gonna have the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to play the same games on your Xbox One S as a Scorpio. They're just gonna run better and look better on the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Same thing with PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro.
I mean, are you interested at getting a PS4 Pro or Scorpio?
I am up in the air about buying any console.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to set up my gaming setup at the moment.
Yeah.
If I want to throw a console in there
Gotcha.
as well. And if like it all depends on the games, like that's really the only reason I would get like a PS4 Pro or a Scorpio. Like if there's a game that I just have to have on them, then I would be more likely to consider it. Like at the moment, I'm like, no, I don't need either of these.
Okay. Say that there is a game that you're just like, I need it. Would you rather go for like the slim PS4 or an Xbox One S, or would you go Scorpio and Pro?
No, I would just go for the Scorpio or Pro.
Okay.
I would just like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna spend the money.
Gotcha.
It's just how I am. It's how I was with my PC, with my PC monitor. Like, I don't want to have to upgrade it again.
Yeah.
So this way, if I were to get a console, I might as well just buy the top one and then be done with it for the next 7 years, hopefully.
Yeah. I doubt
Because
that
then
it's going to be
I
7
would
years.
still have my PC for the main stuff until I run into another thing where I'm like, oh, well, now I'm stuck again and I have to upgrade.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm sticking with my PC for now.
Gotcha.
So let's go on to our next piece of news, where The Last Guardian has gone pro. Or gold. I got PS4 Pro on my mind right now. The Last Guardian has gone gold.
Do either one of us care?
Hopefully this game shouldn't get announced or delayed anymore. It is set, it's gold, and it's good to go.
Are you interested in it at all?
No.
Okay. Neither am I.
I just want this game to come out
And just be done.
so I can stop hearing about it.
Yep. I have a feeling.
I am curious to see how it goes, see how it does.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm not going to play it.
Nice.
And that's about
That's
it.
about it for you. For me, I will be shocked if The Last Guardian. I'm going to go off IGN right here. This is going to be my first ever prediction on the podcast. And I'm guessing, based on the news that's coming up, I'm going to have more. But The Last Guardian on IGN, I bet, will not get a higher rating than an 8.0.
I'll go even more bold than that. It doesn't score higher than a 7.
Really?
Yep. I think it is going to be mediocre.
Really? I mean, I think IGN will still take in account that it's now been a decade and it's finally going gold.
And they just give it an 8 because they feel sorry for it.
No, I feel it's going to be like a 7.2.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
that's very possible.
That's like my accurate guess, but I'm saying no more than an 8. There is no way, even if this game is going to be Game of the Year, after all of the things that this game has put a lot of gamers through, it should be definitely hurt from that.
Yeah.
That's how I stand. I mean, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to be like one of those angry commenters in the video of the review that's saying, oh, that's stupid, or it should totally be higher or lower. But it definitely, if it doesn't get mentioned that we have waited 10 years for this game,
yep,
it needs to at least hurt the score on this game, because it is insane on how long we have waited.
I think naturally, I don't think, they would include in the review, and we took away some points because we had to wait 10 years, but I think that's going to be baked into their expectations. When you expect a game for that long, your expectations are probably a whole lot higher than they should be, and you're going to be let down, and that's going to hurt your score.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I still think they might actually mention it in their review. I mean, going back to earlier when I said about Batman Arkham Asylum, I watched the IGN review of it, and they actually said this frame rate should not be happening for a game that's been out for this long. And I know they've actually docked points on it because of it. So, I mean, I bet they'll even say it in there, but I think it'll be interesting.
If it doesn't perform to how it should be at the moment.
Yeah.
If it's running at 30 frames, or if it stays at 30 frames per second and it runs at 1080p for 30 frames per second, what else would you really expect from it? As long, it's really going to come down to the content of the game. Is it good?
Yep. It's this whole year, kind of, especially the ending of the last half of this year, is going to be basically known by just either finally we got this game, or it just blows. Because, I mean, we've had No Man's Sky, which now, after it sold however much. I don't even think they've come
Mm-hmm.
out and told. I mean, they went radio silent ever since the game came out. Then we're gonna have The Last Guardian, which finally it's coming out. And then we're getting Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
Those are the three big games that are basically coming out now that aren't like real old or rehashed kind of games like Just Dance, like Madden, or any of those, or even these remasters. People are going to remember this year because of this commercial failure that it's basically had with No Man's Sky. I'm guessing The Last Guardian, and I'm guessing Final Fantasy 15 based on what people have been saying.
Yep. So we had some other really big news drop, and we've been waiting until the end of our news segment to talk about these two things.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna start with Rockstar.
Yup.
So Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced
Mm-hmm.
for fall of 2017,
Yeah. I mean,
which is much later than I expected it to be.
yeah, when I saw that, I was kind of like, what? They're waiting till they announced the game almost a year in advance?
Yeah, it was much later than expected. I was expecting spring
Yep.
2017.
That was my guess that it was coming out. But what do you think of the trailer?
Super pretty.
Yeah. It looks like a very
Otherwise,
gorgeous
pretty
game.
empty.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what it's going to be about. And seeing that it's a year in advance, I guess that's kind of what we would expect from a trailer for a game that is for a year in advance.
Yeah.
If it was to say for spring 2017, I would have been like, this trailer needs more.
Yeah. I mean,
but a year in advance, it's like, this is fine.
I mean, they made this huge deal with this thing. So we talked last episode that they just released the Rockstar logo with a red background that kind of resembled Red Dead. Then they showed a picture of, I think it was 7 cowboys just in the distance, and then the next one it was showed the game titles, same 7 people, and the release date, saying, okay, trailer coming out on Thursday. So they made this whole deal with this thing on, alright, we're going to send out these cryptic messages, we're going to send first our logo, then the cowboys, then the game. Then we're going to wait a little bit and give them a trailer. I kind of expected this trailer to be a lot more. Because it really wasn't much. It's just, alright, here's the scenery. Oh, there's one cowboy. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's the group of them. But what is the game?
Right.
Most of like these announcing game ones aren't obviously going to show gameplay off. But they at least give you a hook on saying, here's what you're going to be doing. Or at least, here's what the story is.
Yep.
But, I mean, we got nothing from it. I mean, lots of people got excited for it. I kind of felt a little lackluster for it.
I mean, there was obviously more to be desired because there was so much hype around it, but for 1 year away, it's kind of what I expected.
Yeah. I mean, I was more excited for this next group of news that we're going to just probably spend, I don't know how long talking about. I was more excited for this than I am for Red Dead.
Yeah. So let's get into it then. The Nintendo NX or Nintendo Switch has been confirmed, and it's coming out.
Yep. March of next year. And boy, I cannot be any more excited. I am watching that trailer. I am so excited for this thing if it works the way it shows in the commercials. I mean, go ahead.
It looks like it promises a lot. I don't know how they're going to follow through with any of it.
Hmm. I just feel
Like,
we need to see a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, my main thing is gonna be how, like, if this screen on your portable screen is going to satisfy most people's desires for graphical fidelity, how is the battery going to hold up?
Hmm.
Like, are you going to be able to play this for an hour? Or are you going to be able to play it for 4 hours? So that's my big question is the battery life.
What is your ideal battery life? What would you say that you'd want the Nintendo Switch to come out with?
I think I would be satisfied with a 4 to 5 hour battery life.
Yeah, I was gonna say about a 5 to 6 hour. Because I mean, they showed a guy on the plane. Most plane rides are about, I don't know, pretty short. But then there's
Yep.
always that you're sitting in there. So I mean, they're kind of giving it where it actually could be a little bit longer of a battery time, but it definitely cannot be more less than 4 hours.
Yeah, I feel anything shorter than 4 hours is going to be extremely disappointing,
Hmm.
and it's going to hurt it a lot.
Oh yeah. I mean, what do you think about the trailer at least before we dive into the smaller nitty-gritty news?
I thought the trailer was good. I think it showed off like all of the different things that it can do. However, I felt like it was really hipster oriented. Like if you look like you look at all these
Yeah.
people and like there was like the group of kids like going in this like super old looking like Volkswagen minivan
Yup.
sort of thing and like it I think they were like they're trying to target like millennials and
Hmm.
like the hipster crowd
It's
and
it's at least definitely millennials.
yeah, for sure.
'Cause-
And I mean, it was a good trailer.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from like just who was in it.
Uh-huh.
I just thought it was a little hipster oriented. Like I feel like there's gonna be a lot of kids who want to play this.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the cool thing. It really showed. So, I mean, for the people that haven't seen it, um, because we haven't even really touched on what it is. It's basically a tablet that you can slide on these two joystick. I forget what they call them. It's like Joy-Con remote.
Yeah, Joy Cons.
But yeah, you slide them onto the tablet, and you can pick it up, and you can play basically whatever game you can play on your TV, you can play on this. That I mean comes out with the Nintendo Switch. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to be able to just go get what is it, Forza Horizon. You can't just go play that. It's obviously the games that are coming out for the Switch, and then you can plug it into the dock, and it goes straight up to your TV, and you can play from there. But I mean, the coolest thing is they did really focus on local co-op.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I mean, I mean, PS4, Xbox, they kind of don't do a lot with local co-op. But throughout that whole thing, you see the basketball players, each person has two people playing on that screen going against another two, literally right next to each other. The hipsters in the Volkswagen van are playing Mario Kart right next to each other playing. The girl from her house comes over to like this weird party. Who knows why she just got invited or anything, but we're not going to get into the whole story of the whole trailer. But then instantly she gives one controller out and both of them are playing. It's just an interesting thing that they're focusing on local co-op, which I mean, don't get me wrong, Nintendo's always done. Most of their
Right.
games are local co-op, but I mean, it's nice to see that there's going to be more than just, oh, you can collect studs while the other guy plays as Mario.
Right.
But it's kind of cool to see. I mean, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. What stands out to you as like why are you interested in this?
So throughout the trailer, they show the games. So obviously we have this new Mario that we don't know what it is. Kind of looks like a Mario 64 kind of looking one, or a Galaxy. But my big thing that I see is I see Skyrim and NBA 2K, or at least that's what we think the NBA game is. Who knows? It may be
Yep.
live. I don't know why they'd want to focus on getting live. It's a piece of garbage. Um, it always has been reviewed as a piece of garbage. It's shocking that EA actually does that game. But the fact that I see Skyrim and an NBA game shows that Nintendo is wanting third parties this time. So Nintendo has been known to be just a first party or a second party. I don't really delve into the company of Nintendo. But so third party games are literally ones where they're gonna be available to everyone. So like Bethesda does Skyrim, NBA is basically anywhere you can ever imagine. I mean, it's on your freaking phone. I mean, obviously dumbed down a little bit, but it's on your phone. But the fact that they actually went out and got these people, they have a whole list of these publishers and developers that actually have the that are working on NX games. Obviously, we don't know every single game that's coming out, but the fact that they're doing this. I mean, plus, I love Skyrim. It'd be nice to just have a portable Skyrim.
Yeah, so my question is then, so this is going to also be a home console.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, because you have an Xbox,
Yep.
would you also buy this, but then would you buy Skyrim only on this, or would you buy Skyrim on this and also on the Xbox?
I mean, right now I have the craving to play Skyrim right now, so I'm gonna get the definitive edition of it that's coming out this week. So I'm gonna get that, but that's not saying I'm not gonna get it on the Switch.
Right.
I mean, obviously I'm not gonna sink 300 hours into my Xbox One, and then I'm gonna just want to go play another 300 hours of it.
Right.
For me, I just kind of I want to play Skyrim right now. There's not a lot of new games coming out right now. It's coming up in November, so I want just something to play right now. And I don't want to be stuck on just playing one game. So, but I do want to see at least what kind of third-party games are coming to the Switch. I mean, sure, I probably will get Skyrim because I absolutely love Skyrim. I've probably made about 15 different characters just because I like customizing and creating characters. But it'll just be interesting to see what these games that are coming to this system, these third-party games. That is my biggest thing that I cannot wait to see when we get a little bit more detail on this thing, because we know pretty much nothing.
Yeah, it's very minimal what we know about this, and I think we have to be careful with what we expect from this
Mm-hmm.
because it's trying to bridge a gap that hasn't been bridged before with console home gaming and mobile gaming.
Yeah.
So the possibility of this flopping is
High.
yeah. So temper your expectations for it.
Yep, but I mean, for right now, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's different and the preview was good,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it has promise.
Yep. So, since it actually got announced, obviously, hundreds of questions have been that we're all wondering. But at least some of the things actually came out that they said. So Nvidia, which are known to be what are video cards? I mean, this is
Yep,
all
your
PCs,
graphics cards.
graphics cards. They made a personal one for the Switch, I believe, right?
Yep, they were working on trying to essentially make a micro-sized graphics card that would be able to support bigger games or essentially just make mobile gaming possible.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to see NVIDIA. I mean, they're pretty high up there with all their tech. They're known for their tech, but it's kind of cool to see that they actually, there's this personalized one just for the NX.
Yep. And that flows into the fact that there is going to be a Unreal Engine 4 support. So the ones that Unreal Engine 4 is a very popular engine and in most of the
Games.
today's games.
Yep.
And that's why they need the Nvidia graphics card
Mhm.
because they're more visually demanding games.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, what level of like resolution do you think we're gonna get from this thing? From let's
Uh
take it from a TV standpoint.
I want nothing less than 720.
Yeah.
If it's less than 720, that's disappointing.
Yep.
I would love for it to be 1080.
See, that's the thing. I feel it is going to be 1080, at least from the docking system. Because obviously
Yeah,
there's going to be some I have a feeling there's going to be some extra, like, power from that. The docking system, it's going to make sure that you're not just playing on just this tablet thing. It's going to be like, hey, if you want
right.
to plug that thing in, and then you'll see this nice looking game, and then I believe this tablet is going to be 720,
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that.
or at least that's what it should be. Otherwise, it's
Yeah,
going to struggle some with it.
yep. If it doesn't output 1080p to a TV, that's pretty disappointing. And if the handheld itself is not 720,
Yeah, because I
that's a
mean,
letdown.
I believe 720 is pretty easy to do on like a normal phone, so
Yes.
it should be able to do it with this tablet.
Yep. The only restraint they're going to run into is the battery life.
Yes,
The
that
higher the resolution, the more power it's going to demand, and
exactly.
you'll run into those problems. So, along the lines of graphics, there has been no actual confirmation that Skyrim or NBA are confirmed for the launch, so you may just have to wait a little bit longer. And also, there has been no confirmation of backwards compatibility between Wii U games or 3DS games.
hmm I mean, you and me kind of talked this over before we started recording, but the one thing that they need to actually have for backwards compatibility, in my eyes, is they need to get their virtual console backwards compatible. So for people who don't know what the virtual console is, it's basically allowing people to buy NES, SNES, their older games, and be able to play it on these newer devices. But they need to actually have some sort of cloud thing where it allows people who have already bought it and bring it over. Because, I mean, it's not like these are newer games. They're pretty much the same thing. You just probably, I don't know how they do it, but it's probably just like, oh, you just kind of rename something. I don't know. It shouldn't be too hard, at least, to do these older games, in my eyes.
Right. Just port them over and
Mm-hmm.
call it good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about in relation to the Switch?
Um, I mean, for the Switch, I mean, I hope, I just pray it's good. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
want from Nintendo. Because, I mean, if this thing commercially flops, this is probably going to be the last time we see Nintendo. Maybe forever. If, for sure, hardware.
Yep. Yeah. If this doesn't work, I think this is the end of hardware. I think they'll still make games.
Yeah. I mean,
And they'll just put them out to Xbox and PlayStation. Hopefully. That's what I want.
which, I mean, they should have done before they did the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they should have been doing this for a while. They will make hand over fist if they say, here is Super Mario Galaxy 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's going to be on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Everyone would lose their mind.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen until this flops.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the Switch.
Mm-hmm. So that's it for the news. Now we're going to dive into the upcoming games for the week of October 23rd through the 30th.
hmm This
We
time,
have 9 games, so lots coming out
hmm
this
we
week.
actually got
We,
a decent amount this week, not like
yep,
6 or 5.
yeah. So lots coming out. We are starting off with World of Final Fantasy. We also got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Just Dance 2017, Farming Simulator 17, Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Arendelle, that's a DLC, Minecraft Telltale Complete Adventure, Batman Telltale Episode 3, Titanfall 2, and Skyrim Special Edition. Outside of Skyrim Special Edition, do any of these games interest you at all?
At all, there's 2 of them. World of Final Fantasy, I mean, I'm not a big Final Fantasy kind of person, but it is an interesting thing. I've been watching a couple videos. It'll be interesting to see what people think of it. I'm obviously not going to buy it day one, but it's an interesting just to kind of look out for. And then obviously, other than Skyrim, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with Titanfall 2.
Agreed.
What about you? Anything jumping out other than probably Skyrim?
Um,
Or same as me? Minus.
Honestly, I think I do have some interest in Farming Simulator. I'm not sure why, but there's just something about that game that I'm like, you know what, that kind of looks kind of fun.
hmm
Otherwise, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Titan.
I got Civ 6 on the mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Skyrim basically ready. It'll be fun to just go back into that world. I mean, they started playing like the old commercials of their like live
Yeah.
action ones where it's a guy and the dragon comes down, he's pulling out a sword. I'm watching it and I'm almost like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. I don't know why I am feeling this, but I'm feeling the exact same way about the remastered version of the game than I was probably for the first when it first came out. Because I mean, I wasn't too big into video games then, and I kind of played Skyrim a little bit late. But I was when I played it over at my friend's house, it was so cool to just see what he was doing. I mean, I want to just kind of. This will be really my full first playthrough. I never beat Skyrim. I didn't even know if there was actually an end. I mean, I just kind of stayed in that center area with Whiterun. I think that's what the castle is
Mhm.
called. I mean, I basically stayed there. I want to do a
Oh, good.
full thing in this game. I'm so excited for it right now.
Cool. So last week we did our holiday buying guide for 20-some-year-olds.
hmm
And now this week we are going to focus on teenagers. So anything that's not rated M minus one thing.
Yeah.
So I will turn this over to you.
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas!
So, I mean, like we did last week, with the holiday guide, I've sorted it up into low range, high range, and mid range. So like Brady or the 1BG said, these are for teenagers, and most of them can probably carry over to, what would you say, probably most of these minus like a couple of them obviously could probably go into younger, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, we're starting off with low range. I'm going to start off with Minecraft. Minecraft, obviously the most well-known probably game of all time, minus Mario, I would say. I mean, it sold countless numbers of units. The nice thing is it's only $25 if basically on any platform you can think of. Don't know if it's out on Wii U. I thought it was. I think that was like the one only third party game that's ever come out on the Wii U. But it's literally on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, phones. I mean, phones, it's a little bit cheaper. You don't get everything in it. Minecraft is it's known to be a kid's game, minus all the YouTubers that do it. And it's a nice thing, like I said, I think it's $25. It was originally 20, but it went up to 25. Next one for our low range is Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm pretty sure it is not a full $60. I think it's 50, maybe 40. But it's no more. I know it's not 60. So Pokemon Sun and Moon, we've already kind of covered our thoughts on it. But Pokemon's obviously known to be a kid's game. It's what you and me basically grew up playing, right?
Yep.
I mean, I remember you and me going on trips and we both got like Diamond and Pearl and we see who could beat it faster. It's a good kid's game. Moving on to mid-range. So here's the one M-rated game, but basically every kid plays it, is Call of Duty. Obviously, they've got new Infinite Warfare coming out. It's been getting somewhat decent reviews. But I mean, every kid always loves COD. It seems like every single time I play Call of Duty if I want to. It seems like I'm going up against at least 5 teenagers, probably younger than me, right?
Yeah, I used to play it a lot in high school.
So I mean, it's a good game. Sure, the only thing that makes it an M-rated game is you're killing each other, but lots of games nowadays are doing that. So the next one is Batman Return to Arkham. I put this one in here because it's just a good game for teenagers. I mean, I was a teenager when I first played them. I enjoyed them. It's good gameplay and everything. Next time I'm going with Destiny. Destiny just came out with Rise of Iron, has all the DLC, there's no extra buy-ins. It's got countless numbers of hours for every kid or anyone who wants to play it. So I mean, it's kind of nice to have. You're the one that added this one, Just Dance. I mean, it's Just Dance. It's a dancing game, good party game and everything. Then I added World of Final Fantasy. It looks like a kid's game. It almost kind of looks like a Pokemon game, but it's an interesting game to watch. And probably my favorite out of the list for teenagers would probably be Dragon Quest Builders. I love the game. I still kind of play it every now and then. But yeah. So that's going to round out the mid-range. And so the high range is going to be basically the same as everyone. Minus VR. Don't get VR for teenagers, please. They don't need it at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
So for the high range, I put down portable things because kids were always on the move. So I put down the Nintendo 3DS. It's got all the games that kids would need. I mean, it has Pokemon, all sorts of like Legend of Zelda games and that. Put down the PlayStation Vita. It's got, once again, lots of great games, kind of cheaper games. I didn't add those into the low range because I'd be here for probably hours on end talking about all those games for both the 3DS and the Vita. And then obviously rounding it out to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for basically anyone. That's going to be the same. But otherwise, that would wrap up this week's holiday buying guide for teenagers this week. I'll hand it back over to you there.
All right, so we're going to finish this off. We're going to kind of run through these a little quick because we are starting to run a little long on the podcast. So we're going to jump into our nerdy randomness. And the first little piece is the Great Pumpkin turns 50. on October 19th. I thought that was just something kind of
Okay,
fun. I mean,
what are you talking about here? I saw the link. I didn't open it. What is this Great Pumpkin?
Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
I've
It
heard of it
turned
before.
50 years old.
Yep. I just saw the Great Pumpkin turns 50. I'm like, what pumpkin has been? I mean, is there like the largest pumpkin ever being grown right now? Turns 50 this year. I was a little confused, but yes, obviously heard of Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
Yep. Next piece of nerdy randomness, we have Lucasfilm just made it official that Donald Glover, star of Community and Atlanta, will portray a young Lando Calrissian in a standalone Han Solo film.
Sorry, I'm just laughing on how you pronounced his last name.
I probably butchered that, didn't I?
Lando Calrissian.
Calrissian.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so thoughts on that? I don't do Star Wars.
I mean, I kind of knew. I mean, if this movie is about young Han Solo and how he came to be Harrison Ford, basically. Um, the nice thing for me is they need to have Lando in this movie because throughout the first three, so 4, 5, and 6, especially 5, we meet Lando, who's basically Han Solo's like best buddy back in the olden days. So obviously, I mean, it's good to see that they're actually casting a person, so it's nice to know that he's actually in the movie. I don't really know who Donald Glover is, so I mean, I'm just more happy that Lando's going to be in the movie.
Okay. We talked a lot about Skyrim, and there's going to be an official Skyrim Monopoly set coming in March 2017.
I mean, have you bought?
What a surprise.
I mean, it actually does surprise me. I don't really know a lot of video games that get
No.
like a Monopoly kind of one. I mean, I remember like Pokemon Monopoly. Or no, that was Pokemon
Yeah.
Sorry. I remember playing that, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. It would be kind of nice to see like the Elder Scrolls Monopoly, but obviously, gotta sell something, put the big name in, so obviously it's gonna be Skyrim.
Yeah, yeah. It's just they're really capitalizing on the fact that they're re-releasing it.
Yeah. Might
And
also.
our last piece of nerdy randomness is I'm probably gonna butcher some of these names here. We got Lord of the Rings spin-off of Baron and Luthien to be published in 2017. So, new Lord of the Rings movies.
Is it
About
movies or are they
I think
books?
so. They might be books.
I think it's actually books are coming out about it.
Oh, okay. Yes, books.
Yeah.
Standalone book that includes illustrations.
I mean,
So,
probably.
new book by Tolkien.
Yeah, I mean, probably down the line, because it's a quick cash grab, they're going to probably make a movie if it's a good book. But otherwise, I mean, I don't really care about Lord of the Rings that much.
Yeah. Alright, so that does it for this week's episode. Where can people find you?
They can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all at Platinuming. So it's Platinum with an ING at the end. Twitter, that's where I post all of my updates. Twitch, rarely use it. I'm still trying to work on internet so I can maybe stream Battlefield 1, play with you guys if you guys want to. And then obviously my big one is YouTube. That's where I post all of my Let's Plays and everything like that. PSN is Nitsua, so it's Austin backwards, so it's NITSUA, and then 6991. And Xbox is Ding Futzy. How about you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube as the 1BG Gaming. I'm on Twitter as the_1_BG, and my PSN is Brady2013.
Alright.
You can also find us on Facebook at Game News and Things, and Patreon at Game News and Things. We also have an email that if you want to send any questions to, feel free to. It is gamenewsandthings@gmail.com.
I mean, you guys can send basically any of your questions to either mine or BG's Twitter. You can post them on the Facebook group or send them to us in the email. Also, with Patreon, we have put one goal out there, starting off small. If we can get $50, we will start doing a video podcast where we will actually do face cams. So instead of the ones that are getting posted on the one BG's YouTube, we'll actually post on there a real face cam so you can actually see us and what we look like and stuff like that.
Yep. So that is all for today's episode. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
See ya.